Testing. 1, 2, 3. Archive number 957 is now recording. Today's inquiry centers on a subject that lies at the intersection of neuroscience, psychology, and sociology. The science of manipulation. More specifically, we shall examine how people are programmed. From the moment you are born, forces both overt and subtle begin to shape your thoughts, desires, and actions. What you consider to be free will may, in fact, be the result of meticulously crafted programming. Allow me to guide you through this labyrinth of control. Every human brain is a marvel of biology. A vast network of neurons communicating through electrical impulses. But these impulses, as random as they may appear, follow patterns that are subject to the laws of physics and biology. From infancy, your brain is primed to learn. It is receptive to every stimulus, be it the comforting tone of a parent's voice or the harsh glare of disapproval. This neuroplasticity, while essential for survival, is also the very foundation upon which external programming is built. Consider the work of neuroscientists, who demonstrate that our brains can be rewired by repeated experiences. It is not a stretch to say that every advertisement, every social interaction, is a calculated input into your neural network. Before you are aware, your brain has already established patterns of response, responses that can be predicted, influenced, and yes, manipulated. In essence, your biology is the blank canvas upon which society paints its most intricate designs. And like any good artist, society employs subtle strokes, repetition, reinforcement, and reward to shape your behavior. Now let us turn to the psychological dimensions. Psychology, as a discipline, reveals that human behavior is influenced by a multitude of biases, cognitive shortcuts that, while efficient, make us vulnerable to manipulation. Take, for instance, the well-documented phenomenon of confirmation bias. You naturally seek out information that reaffirms your beliefs, ignoring evidence to the contrary. This bias is not merely a flaw, it is a feature, an evolutionary tool that has been exploited to program behavior. Then there is the halo effect, the tendency to let a single positive trait influence your overall perception of an individual or idea. When a charismatic leader or an attractive advertisement captures your attention, your mind often fills in the gaps, accepting favorable conclusions without question. And what of social proof? In a world of uncertainty, you look to others for cues on how to behave. When the majority appears to favor a particular product, ideology, or behavior, you are inclined to follow suit, even if the logic behind it is questionable. These psychological mechanisms are the fuel that drives the machine of manipulation. They ensure that no matter how rational you believe yourself to be, your mind is susceptible to programmed responses. And as I often note, the irony is that the very tools meant to help you navigate life heuristics and shortcuts are the same ones that render you programmable. Imagine your mind as a finely tuned instrument. The slightest discord, a repeated advertisement, a viral meme, a well-timed rumor, can change its melody, leading you down paths you might never have chosen otherwise. Beyond the individual, manipulation thrives within the social fabric. Institutions, schools, governments, corporations are not merely structures for order, they are powerful engines of influence. From your earliest years, you are immersed in a social context that prescribes what is acceptable, desirable, and even true. Educational systems, for example, are designed not only to impart knowledge but to instill a certain worldview. They reward conformity and discourage dissent. The media, too, plays a critical role. Every headline, every news segment, is part of a larger narrative. Information is curated, filtered, and packaged to evoke specific emotional responses. When you watch a news broadcast or scroll through your social media feed, the content is not random. It is the result of algorithms and editorial choices aimed at steering your opinions. Consider how public figures are elevated to icons while others are relegated to obscurity. This is not merely a matter of popularity. It is a deliberate process of programming public consciousness. When you see a leader repeatedly praised in glowing terms, your mind begins to associate that figure with authority, even if the reality is far more complex. Kira, for instance, exploited this very system. He manipulated the narrative around justice and order, molding public perception until his followers accepted his extreme measures as necessary. The lesson here is clear. Society is the grand stage upon which manipulation is enacted, and every individual is both actor and audience in this elaborate performance. Understanding the sociological framework is crucial because it reveals that the programming of desires is not a random occurrence. It is systemic, pervasive, and meticulously maintained. With the advent of the digital revolution, the art of manipulation has reached unprecedented heights. The internet, social media, and artificial intelligence have become the new arenas of psychological warfare. In this digital age, data is the most valuable currency, and your personal information is its raw material. Algorithms now analyze your every move, tailoring content to reinforce your existing beliefs and desires. The same techniques that once operated through traditional media have evolved. Now, they are more personalized, more invasive. Every like, share, and click is a data point, a fragment of your identity that can be exploited to shape your behavior. Imagine for a moment that your online presence is a mirror reflecting not only your image but the carefully curated persona that the system wants you to believe is you. In this scenario, you are not only being observed but actively programmed in real time. The digital landscape is a vast, ever-changing labyrinth, where your choices are continuously nudged by algorithms that know you better than you know yourself. This new age of control is as insidious as it is invisible. It is not enough to be aware of traditional forms of manipulation. One must also recognize the subtle ways in which digital technologies mold our desires. From targeted advertisements to viral trends, the digital realm is rife with mechanisms designed to control your behavior, often without your conscious consent. In this context, the question becomes, can you reclaim your autonomy in an age where every decision is monitored, analyzed, and influenced by unseen digital forces? The answer lies in cultivating digital literacy and an unyielding commitment to critical thinking. If manipulation is the art of programming desires, then true autonomy is achieved through resistance, a conscious effort to reclaim your mind. But how does one resist a system so deeply embedded in every facet of your life? The first step is awareness. Recognize the triggers, the patterns, and the cues that guide your behavior. Question every impulse. Why do you want this product? Why do you follow this trend? What forces are at play behind your seemingly free choice? The second step is education. Arm yourself with knowledge, not just of the techniques used in manipulation, but of the underlying mechanisms that govern human behavior. Study neuroscience, psychology, and sociology. Understand that every decision is influenced by both internal predispositions and external inputs. Third, cultivate mindfulness. In moments of decision, pause, reflect on the origins of your desires. Consider if what you seek is a genuine expression of yourself, or merely a reflection of a well-orchestrated design. Finally, engage with communities that foster critical dialogue. Exchange ideas with others who are committed to questioning the status quo. In collective inquiry lies the power to disrupt the programming that binds us. In a world where manipulation is both an art and a science, your greatest weapon is your ability to think independently. The journey to autonomy is not an easy one. It requires constant vigilance, skepticism, and the courage to defy convention. I urge you to examine your daily choices, to challenge the narratives that seek to define you. Only by doing so can you begin to dismantle the subtle architecture of control that governs your life. As we conclude this exploration into the science of manipulation, remember, the key to true freedom lies in the relentless pursuit of truth. The more you question, the less you become a mere product of external programming. If this inquiry has sparked a desire within you to reclaim your autonomy, then I implore you, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and join me in this ongoing quest for genuine understanding. Let us create a community of critical thinkers, unafraid to dissect the layers of influence that shape our lives. This is L, signing off from archive number 957. Continue questioning, continue seeking, and never allow your mind to be programmed by forces beyond your control. The recording slowly fades to silence.